Bhakta Bandhav Pranam, Shri Mohan Das here from Radhe Kunj, Vrindavan Dham. So today we're going to talk about the Bhakti Fellowship, that is a wing of our Bhakta Bandhav mission. So the Bhakti Fellowship is based on the teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who talked about how we can develop the Nam Hatta, or the plan for spreading the holy names all throughout the world as desired by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and as predicted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said, Prithiviti Ache Jata Nagarari Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Moranam, that the holy names will be spread in every town and village throughout the whole world. And to help manifest this into reality, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Nityananda Prabhu to begin the Nam Hatta, which means Hatta means the marketplace, so the marketplace of the holy name. And he said, Kare jar mage bhiksha bolo Krishna bhaja Krishna koro Krishna shiksha. Go house to house and invite everyone and implore everyone to chant Krishna's names, to worship Sri Krishna, to hear and spread the teachings of Sri Krishna. So this is our purpose of the Bhakti Fellowship. Our seventh Goswami, Sri Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he himself helped manifest this in this world, and he's also therefore known as like Bhakti Bhagirat. He again spread this Bhakti culture throughout the whole world. He is like the godfather of our Bhakti movement in the modern age. From him, then his successor is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, who began the Gaudiya Math. From him, his prominent disciples like our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Priyan Keshu Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Shri Swami Maharaj, especially Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the founder of ISKCON, International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And with all these different branches of the tree of Mahaprabhu's movement and family, then this movement is spreading throughout the whole world and fulfilling Mahaprabhu's prediction that the holy names of the Lord will be spread in every town and village. So we're going to do our small part in this, the best of our ability. And what we are doing is called Bhakta Bandhav. Bhakta Bandhav is the name of Srila Gurudev, a title given to Srila Gurudev by his own Guru, Param Gurudev, Bhakti Priyan Keshu Goswami Maharaj. Bhakta Bandhav literally means that person who is the very dear friend of the devotees, in the superlative sense of friendship. Bandhav means the strongest bond of friendship. That is like a bandhan, like Dham Bandhan Lila, when Mother Yashoda bound Krishna. That was something that was very strong, and that is the bondage of very deep love and affection and compassion. So Bandhav means superlative friendship, complete friendship. And for who? For all the devotees. This is actually coming from the scriptures, the Adi Puran. Krishna says to Arjuna, Asmakam Bandhava Bhakta, Bhaktanam Bandhava Vayam. I am Bhakta Bandhav, and the devotees are also Bhakta Bandhav. What does that mean? He says, I am the dearmost friend of my devotees, and the devotees are my dearmost friends. And then he glorifies the devotees as being gurus for the whole world. So this is kind of the culture and heritage of Bhakta Bandhav. In the ultimate sense, Bhakta Bandhav is none other than Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality, because it is a name for Sri Krishna, Bhakta Bandhav, symbolizing one of Krishna's greatest qualities, which is his Bhakta Vatsalya, his loving affection and parental care and compassion towards the devotees. So this name is representing Sri Krishna, and is also representing our beloved Srila Gurudev himself, who was given this title in 1947 when he received the second initiation, Brahminical or Diksha initiation from Param Gurudev at the time of Gaur Purnima. So under Bhakta Bandhav, there are many different levels, you can say. The topmost is ultimately that absolute truth, Sri Krishna himself, in his feature as Bhakta Bandhav, which in his feature as being the very loving, compassionate, benevolent, you can say, creator of us all. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Pitahamasya Jagato Mata Data Pitamaha. I am the mother and father of all creation. He says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. I am equal towards everyone, but I am especially loving and partial even towards my devotees. If they show love to me, then I also return that love to them. Krishna says, I reciprocate according to everyone, according to how they relate with me. So Sri Krishna is that Bhakta Bandhav, and our Srila Gurudev is that Bhakta Bandhav. So therefore we are in that line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara. Our lineage is unbroken, coming from Lord Brahma, who is himself the son of Krishna or Narayan, and also the disciple, and from him to Narad, Vedvyas, and then throughout the disciplic succession, Madhvacharya, and then Madhavendra Puri, Mahaprabhu, so many different gurus in our line. There's the Bhagavad Parampara, there is the Diksha Parampara. Ultimately, these are intertwined. So we are continuing on from that original Parampara lineage. So now, specifically to the Bhakti Fellowship. Within Bhakta Bandhav, there is the transcendental Vani, which is the literature, which is described to be non-different from Krishna himself. Krishna appears in his Granta Bhagavat form. So all these divine Grantas, these are the highest truth which is being spread to this world, and that is beyond any kind of organization. That is the topmost thing, the divine Granta, because that is like the Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or the teachings of Guru and Vaishnavas. There's Shrota Parampara. We are in this line of descending knowledge from the perfected masters. They are, whatever they give us, revealed to us, that is our Amnaya Vani. Amnaya means we receive the realized truth coming from the perfected, self-realized souls. So that is our Vani, that is Bhakta Bandhav, loving reality. Then we have the organization as we have in this world, and that necessarily is, you have to interact with society. There are trusts and things like that for property, for facilitating the preaching. When Gurudev was asked about his society, he said there should be trusts so that they can help facilitate things that make sure the parikrama is going on, Brajmandal Parikrama, Navadvip Parikrama, also to help facilitate the sannyasis' preaching efforts. So for that reason, there has to be some society or some organization, but we do not try to place that above and beyond that which is ultimate absolute truth, or Krishna himself, or Krishna in his presence as divine Vani. So then there is the congregational development branch, and that is what is the Bhakti Fellowship, how to help develop the family of the Vaishnavas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote about this in his article called Gauranga Samaj, the Society of Sri Gauranga. He talked about the different levels of people who should be welcomed into the society of Gauranga. He said whether they are believing that Mahaprabhu is God himself, or a great devotee, or even a social reformer, they should all be welcomed into the society of Sri Gauranga and shown love and affection and given some encouragement. He said if we do not accept all these types of people into a society, then we will not be able to develop the society nicely. And then in the end of his article, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also said that the most important way to spread this society of Sri Gauranga and to develop it is to train up the youth to become pure preachers with integrity, with character, with honesty. Therefore, he said that you should start a Vaishnava school for this purpose, that the whole world is filled with mundane educational institutions, and they only make living entities to be like donkeys in this world. Jada vidya jata maya vaibhav jivana banaika gada. All the material educational institutions make the living entities like donkeys in this world. They have to carry heavy loads, heavy burdens in society, and then ultimately they suffer the pain, the different kinds of heats of sufferings in this world, misery caused by the living entities, by other external forces, by one's own mind and senses, and then the sufferings of old age, disease. So if we want to transcend this, then we have to help them with spiritual education, that we are not this body, and then that's the first level. But okay, if we are not this body, then what are we in truth? It's not enough just to say we are not this. We have to understand the positive aspect. What are we really? And then what is our true dharma, or sanatan dharma, eternal dharma of the soul? So these things have to be taught. And not only that, but not only theory, but the practical applications of all these things have to be taught as well. Therefore, we have in our Bhakta Bandhav, we have our Krishna Prema Academy, or KRIPA. It's Bhakta Bandhav Srila Gurudev's KRIPA, manifestation of his mercy in the form of this Vaishnav educational, you could say, academy, which is the Krishna Prema Academy, helping the jivas achieve the ultimate goal of life, Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema is described to be Pancham Purushartha, the supreme, topmost goal of human life. There are different kinds of goals of human life called purusharthas, the goal of purush, a human being, such as economic development, religiosity, sense gratification, ultimately liberation. These four things are not pure and not the ultimate goal of life, because they are tainted by some kind of material conceptions or material selfish desires. But the ultimate goal of human life is developing divine love for Sri Krishna, the absolute truth, the all beautiful reservoir of pleasure. So that is the ultimate goal of life. Gurudev would say that our goal is not Krishna, our goal is Krishna Prema, divine love for Sri Krishna. Therefore, our Krishna Prema Academy is to help train the devotees and also the people who come in how they can achieve this Krishna Prema, how they can make their own life perfect, and then also help others make their lives perfect. If we don't practice ourselves, then we'll also not be able to help others. So that is one department of Bhakta Bandhav. And then there's the Bhakti Fellowship. Bhakti Fellowship means our Nam Hatta congregational development wing. So how will that go on? So there are many different ways that this is going to be developed. I'll just give you a quick overview here. There's a detailed exposition of this, that when people are ready to join up and take responsibility in this, then they can learn more. I'm just going to give you a brief overview. The idea is that each person who is part of this has to take responsibility to help other jivas, other living entities, and other people progress in their spiritual life. Generally, we find when new people come, they need extra help and nourishment. Just like when a child is born, for some years, it needs so much care and love and affection from the mother and father. After some time, it becomes matured and is able to maintain itself. But in its youth especially, or in its infancy especially, then so much kind of spiritual cultivation and nourishment is required. In Bhakti, when we start this process, it's described to be like from Guru and Vaishnavas, we receive the seed, Bhakti Lata Bij, Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavana Bij, Guru Krishna Prasade by Bhakti Lata Bij. That by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we receive the seed of the devotional creeper. And when that is nourished, then it will sprout and have different leaves of the different stages of Bhakti will develop. And especially in its young stage, like when a tree is very big and strong and tall, then it can withstand many storms, it can withstand even droughts, but especially in its young infant stages, then it needs to be protected with some fence. It needs to be watered and cultivated very carefully. It has to be protected from wild animals. So in the same way, when new people come to Bhakti, they need to be especially cared for. That's why the Bhakti Fellowship is so important, because it helps engender a spirit of fellowship. Fellowship means an association of people who are in the same mood, svajatiya, striving for the same aims in a like-minded manner. Bhaktivinoda Thakur and our acharyas like Narottam Das Thakur described that this is the sadhu sangha we should seek out. Sadhu sangha means saintly association, and it's one of the integral limbs of the bhakti practice. So, svajatya ashray snigdha sadhu sangha satovrate. We should be in association of sadhus who are of the similar mood. Svajatya ashray, who are affectionate towards us and who help us progress. So when new people join, then the Bhakti Fellowship, then we have to be very caring and nurturing. So everyone who is part of it has to take responsibility. Our Srila Gurudev said, a person who does not take responsibility is like an animal. He may not have a tail or horns, but actually he is like an animal, Gurudev said. We should understand what is my responsibility in life, and that is, how can I serve and please my Gurudev? And for that, I'm ready to do anything. I'm ready to give my life. So in the Bhakti Fellowship, there are different stages of development, but everything is, each person is responsible for someone and responsible to someone. So there's different systems of group levels. The first level is called the Bhakti Jut. It's the initial group, and it consists of 12 members. There's the Sevak leader, who is facilitating and organizing the group. Then there is someone who is like the Sevak leader, secretary position, who is helping organize everything, helping maintain and check out that everything is developing nicely, looking after all the members. Then there are people who are, each person who is part of it should be trying to bring new people in. And when they bring new people in, then they should be looking after their progress and helping them advance. So the people in the group, they are meeting people, distributing books, inviting them to come and join. And then when they join, then they those new people who join, as they progress themselves over the weeks and months, then they themselves will help bring in new people and look after them. In this way, the Nam Hatta, or the marketplace of the holy name, can expand. So generally, there will be meetings that will be determined according to what is favorable for the group. Generally speaking, like on Ekadashi, twice a month, perhaps on Purnima or Amavasya, or even more often, once a week on the Sunday or Saturday. Then the group will meet together in someone's house, or in a different person's house, or in the temple, wherever it's favorable for everyone. Then the group members will meet, and then there will be a sequence of different activities over, like, generally an hour or more, depending on, there will be flexibility, but when everyone comes together, then there will be some introduction, as they call them, like icebreakers, then some kirtan, some interesting stories, katha, some discussion, some arti, kirtan, mahaprasadam. In this way, there will be Nam Hatta programs. Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself established hundreds of Nam Hatta centers. It's described he established around 600 Nam Hatta centers like this when he was preaching in Orissa and Bengal and other places. So we're following the standard set by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So the first group is 12 members. From that we expand up to 24 members and then divide it again back into 12. The goal is to have initially nine groups of 12 members. This will become a Bhakta Mala. Like we have the Japa Mala of 108 beads. 108 is the most spiritually powerful number. And it also represents the gopis in the Ras dance with Sri Krishna. They are in groups of 108. In the spiritual world, there is Srimati Radhika, and then Srimati Radhika has 8 Sakhis, her dearmost friends. Each of those Sakhis have 4 Manjaris who are like their assistants, and then 8 Sakhis who are also serving in their group. Even in the spiritual world, there is a very strong organizational structure. So we see Srimati Radhika is the fountainhead of all kinds of moods of devotion and loving service. And in the 108 beads, you have first Srimati Radhika, right? Then you have the 8 Sakhis. Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, Chambakalata, Ranga Devi, Sudevi, Indulika, Sudevi, etc. So each of those 8 Sakhis then has 4 Manjaris under her guidance, as well as 8 Sakhis. So that's where we get the 12, the group number of 12 people, right? There are 12 people in each initial group, then it develops to 24, and then it splits again over some time of different months. When a new person joins the group, then they are taught how to put on tilak, how to follow Vaishnava etiquette, how to follow different rules and regulations, different maryada, different types of etiquette, also how to chant, and they're encouraged and nourished. Any question they have, they will have a specific person who is responsible for their growth and their development in bhakti, and also for nurturing them. So they should have contact with that person, and as they develop, then they will start to help and develop others as well. There are many different services within the fellowship, so not everyone will have the innate qualities to do every single different role. That's why there will be so many different roles of service one can do. Just like we see in the spiritual world, the groups of Sakhis, their assistants have different roles. So also in the fellowship, different people will have different roles according to their innate qualities. When a new person comes, then they should be very lovingly trained and gradually brought into this path. So especially in the programs, the meetings, the most important thing is Mahaprasadam, Kirtan, Sankirtan, hearing some nice stories or Harikatha, having some nice interaction, discussions. Then people will become enthusiastic to follow bhakti. If the devotees themselves aren't inspired, enthusiastic, and appearing effulgent or happy in their process, then it's not going to be easy to attract new people. If everything is very melancholic, that bhakti is a joyful process. It said at every stage, bhakti is very joyful. Therefore, it's important that everything is seen to be like the festival of Braj, Gokula Mahotsavayate. Everything is like a festival in Braj. So our kirtan, our dancing in kirtan, Sankya Purvaka Namagan Natibi, our Goswamis, what did they do? They chanted the holy names, they danced, they feasted. Our devotees of Mahaprabhu, they feasted on Krishna Bhakti Ras. Krishna Bhakti Ras Bhavitamati Kriyatam Jadi Kuto Vilabhyate. So everyone who is coming into this, they are encouraged to find out genuine sadhu sangha. So what we are doing is we're helping people develop to the stage where they are qualified and ready to come to the Dham, associate with the sadhus, and follow the more deep esoteric principles of bhakti. But if they're not helped and developed from the initial stages, then they won't be able to progress so easily. That's why Mahaprabhu said that you should be Amaragya Guru Hoy Tar Edesh. You should become Guru on my order and help others. That means there are many kinds of Guru, but if we are not on a liberated platform, we don't take this role of I am like Jagat Guru, but we can take the role of helping others come to the real sadhu. That is Vartma Pradarshika Guru, the guide who shows us the path. And that person needs to have so much love and care and affection for everyone. Therefore, that Vartma Pradarshika, that is someone who goes out into the world, meets people, distributes books, invites them to the programs. And through this method, we can very quickly and nicely help the community grow. It's very important. They said each one teach one. Each person has to take responsibility for someone and helping them grow. If you are not taking responsibility for someone, you don't have that feeling of leadership, then you can serve in many other ways. There are so many ways to serve. We're going to set up like a nice structure to maintain records. Bhaktivinoda Thakur detailed very interesting ways of different roles, different responsibilities, different positions in the Namahatta movement. So we're going to implement Bhaktivinoda Thakur's different strategies. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a book called Godrum Kalpatavi. And in this book, he gave specific roles for how to develop the Namahatta. And we will use those kinds of systems because not everyone has the same nature or qualities. So therefore, we should, Prabhupada would say, dovetail everyone's special qualities in the service of Krishna. There are so many ways to spread the movement, but the basic idea is that if everyone does not participate and serve, then it has no chance of maintaining it or growing. There are 6 stages of life cycle: birth, growth, giving off byproducts, then maintenance and decline and death. So this works for not just a person or any living entity in this world, but also works for organizations. And the idea is that if the organization is not growing, increasing its, you would say like membership, or increasing its, whatever is your bar for growth, then it's not going to be able to sustain itself. These first 3 stages are very important. That birth means bringing new people into the Bhakti Fellowship. Then growth means helping them develop. And then giving off of byproducts means those people themselves should become, they should help other people come and join the family of Mahaprabhu's Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Then this can be sustained. Then maintenance, and then decline and death. Everything is perishable in this world. So the only way that the society can continue on is if new members are brought in, cultivated, helped to grow, and they themselves help expand the family. And then they themselves help maintain everything. These are the qualities of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the maintainer, and Shiva is destroyer of all kinds of impediments or bad things, anarthas. So in the organization, we have to be very carefully following this standard of helping new people come, helping them grow, helping maintain them, helping root out unwanted things, anarthas, sinful tendencies, offensive mentalities. Then it can grow. If the people who are part of it aren't enthusiastic to give more than they take, in the sense that they should offer more energy into the organization than they take out. If the members are taking out more energy than they are putting in, then the organization suffers as a result. Obviously, not everyone is able to serve to the same capacity. If you look at the 80-20 Pareto principle, generally they say, okay, 20% of the people do 80% of the work. And of those 20%, 80% of the work is done in 20% of their time. So that's why it's very important that we focus and are determined to serve in a very intelligent manner. This is called Buddhi Yoga. Engage our intelligence in Krishna's service, in Guru's service. How can I please my Gurudev? How can I please the Vaishnavas? Then things can develop and progress. Otherwise, things only decline and decay. So that's why bringing new members in, helping them grow, birth, growth, helping them themselves bring new members in. Generally, everyone has their circle of influence, and that's the easiest place to start. Like, for example, if someone new is coming in, how will they immediately go and attract someone new to the process? You're not going to immediately go and try to force them to join. You can speak sweetly with them. Also, don't initially try to sell them some book. Meaning, if you use like heavy-handed marketing tactics, people have generally some kind of disinclination towards that. But if you're very kind and loving, give them some prasad. Even if you don't tell them it's prasad. Prasad is so powerful. Krishna says, "Prasade sarvadukanam, anirasya upajayate, prasanna chetasya hayaso buddhir bhadyavatistati." By taking the Lord's prasad, naturally, spirit is lifted. Naturally, one becomes happy, uplifted. So one great way to bring new people is make some prasadam, offer it with love to the deities, and then serve it to them. You don't have to even say it's prasadam. Like your co-workers, give them cookie, give them some cake, and not all the time. You don't want to scare them, but be sweet, be kind. Then gradually they can become interested. You can have some books with beautiful pictures of Krishna, Radharani, Braj in your office, and you can show yourself reading them and very interested. And then their curiosity will be raised, and they may ask you, "Oh, what is that book?" You have to awaken their greed, and if you try to force it on them, then they'll think, "Oh, why are they trying to force this on me? Why are they trying to sell it on me?" So there are many different ways. Also, we see generally, like, we won't get into it now, but there's like the Jehovah Witnesses knocking on every door, trying to force people, saying our way is the only way. So we encourage preaching. Nityananda Prabhu went house to house and preached, but not in like we don't want to be heavy-handed in the sense of like trying to pressure people. It's a very sweet process. All we want to do is help people realize how wonderful and how sweet this process is. Then naturally they will come. So their first level of the group is called the Bhakti Jute. Like I said, 12 members, the group leader, the group's first assistant, then that assistant should have assistants taking meeting minutes, helping orchestrate and the meetings, making sure everything is done nicely, prasadam, everything like that. Then there are those who are directly going out and bringing new people. So generally every person has someone responsible that they are responsible for, and that is responsible to them. Meaning they are responsible too. They are responsible to someone who is like their sevak leader, and then they are also taking on responsibility for someone else's growth. So you have the Bhakti Jute. This expands to 24 members and then divides again to 12. Once you get to 9 groups, then you have 1 Bhakta Mala, 108 devotees. From that, the goal is to reach 4 Bhakta Malas, like a Bhakta Vrinda. Then the next level is 16 Bhakta Malas, following the Japa, 64 Japa Malas. We have names for all these stages, and we'll also be keeping track of how many books are distributed, how many members are coming in, how much prasad is distributed. There's many sweet ways to help us like track our progress and be inspired and enthusiastic in this. So this is just a short little overview of the Bhakta Bandhav Bhakti Fellowship, and if you're interested for more, you can please message us, write in the comments, and we'll get in touch with you, or you can ask questions there also. We have a very detailed plan for how to implement this, and we definitely believe that it's possible to help grow the family of Mahaprabhu and Gurudev in a very nice manner. It's already been used very successfully by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and also by Swami Prabhupada, and this is kind of the method that our acharyas have used to spread the family of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So anyhow, thank you for watching and giving us your time, and if you have any questions, write about it and let us know. Hare Krishna.